It's visible.
Okay. So as we have discussed, guys, profile, resume, Naukri profile, some generic questions. Now let's discuss few more questions which could be relevant to all of you. Right? Rest your individual profile related questions, etc. Those will be different, but this is very generic and this will be applicable to everyone. Though I have already covered this, but let's go ahead and check this again. So the first one would be, how many cloud migrations have you done? Okay. HR person will ask you this before even you go for the technical interview. They have a set of questions which is being shared with them, which their management share with them, or their technical team they share with them. So they always have it. So they will ask you, how many cloud migrations have you done? This formula I have already told you, right? 10 plus migrations if you are portraying 5 plus of experience. It doesn't have to be exact number. It can be 9, it can be 8, it can be 11 also. It's up to you. Do not try to exaggerate things. It's always good to be at the lower side. No harm in that, right? So even if they're asking how many, you can say 6. It's still fine, because all the time you're not just working on migration. Trust me, on this resume, if we take as per this resume, okay, if I consider that the total experience on Azure, including this 1 year and these 4 years, total experience 5 years. As in 5 साल पहले तो मैंने Azure पे काम करना शुरू कर दिया. And if I'm saying 10 projects of migration, approximately 6 months it takes one project, which means I have done 2 projects every year. As in join करते ही did I start working on migration, which is highly impossible. So it doesn't fit well, right? So make sure you give a number which is realistically believable. Okay? Next thing, how many assessment have you done? Now, other day I have explained it to you that assessment can be different, migration can be different. There can be a project where you do assessment and migration. There can be a project where someone has done the assessment and you are doing the migration. There will be many projects where you do the assessment and then someone else will do the migration. Right? So that number also you can quote it based on the number of experience. 5 years, I quote 15 if I have 5 years of experience, but I told you don't have to exaggerate it or go at the lower side. In fact, let me change this. Let's say 7 plus migration in 5 years, 11 assessment in 5 years. It's enough. No one is going to doubt you for that. Cloud readiness, forecast, work assessment, this all come under your assessment, right? We have done this. How did you decide this question? I have already discussed that you are not the deciding authority or deciding role you did not have, but how you know that already, right? Uh, Once you are done with this one, few questions they may ask you about your team. That is very important, right? You should know at least when you're claiming that you have worked. So, what kind of team environment do you work on? Right? So you should understand you will not see very large team here, very basic, huge teams here. That is the reason if you check that dummy profile, if I open it again, you will see team size 4 plus, team size 3. This is how you will see it. So you can mention that your current team, it has one uh, Microsoft Entra engineer. If you want to mention it, otherwise it's okay. One database engineer, you can if you want to mention, otherwise it's okay. But remaining things, make sure you mention that we are 3 platform engineers, we have a lead architect, and then we have a delivery manager. At least these 3 roles you should mention. You as a platform engineer or deployment engineer, whatever you want to call, you can say we are 3 platform engineers, one lead architect, and when we have our program manager or delivery manager, whatever you want to call it. Got it, guys? This thing you have to mention if they ask about your team. This is the smallest. You can elaborate it, it's okay. You can say we are 6 instead of 1,000 server, there are 10,000 servers. You can say that. But this is the realistic approach. Is this clear to everyone?
Yes.
Yes.
No one is asking their name, etc. Don't worry. It's completely irrelevant. I have never seen a single interviewer asking their name or their detail or their job profile. They don't bother about it. Once this is done, let's come to the basic questions and answers, which are we have faced in interview, including the latest one. Right? I've changed the company name here because that person is still not comfortable sharing the company name. So I have mixed those questions here. Maybe after 10-15 days, I'll prepare one more page here and I'll that company's name here, and those specific questions I'll remove from here and there. So if we start with Accenture, okay, 365 questions also we are not taking. One more thing, guys, understand, if they are asking you 20 questions, they are not expecting you to answer all of them. Even if you are able to answer 16 of them, you are a select for sure. Okay. So tell me something about your current profile. Very basic question. Everyone can prepare for this one. Have you worked on 365? No. Have you worked on Azure migration? Look at this. Third question was, have you worked on Azure migration? Yes. You don't just have to say yes here and stop. When they are saying, have you worked on migration? Yes, I have worked on Azure migration. In my recent project, we have moved 30 virtual machines from vCenter to Azure Migrate. And then you have to start with the complete process. This is the point which we are explaining. And then you have to start with the complete process, which is here uh, under our migration session. Yeah, that even before we start the migration, we do the pre-migration. In pre-migration, this is what we do. We have a center of excellence team. Sorry, this is post-migration I was highlighting. Pre-migration, this is a cloud center of excellence team which we have. They take part of these. These are the review they do. Once everything is done, then we do the assessment. Under assessment, I have used tool Azure Migrate. I have also used Current. And I'm still not showing Current's data because this session is also recorded. That I'll show you when I connect with all of you on individual basis. Right? Or maybe after this session we can connect or on a non-recorded session. Okay. So here you can mention that we used to do assessment using Azure assessment tool or Current in assessment. These are the things which we get. These are the things which we take care of. We get the assessment report. Everything, whatever I have thought in migration, you have to explain that in thorough manner, detailed manner. Minimum 7 to 8 minutes this answer should take. That once the assessment done, then we can go ahead for migration. But before we go for the migration, post assessment, before migration, landing zone is a crucial thing. We'll have to create a landing zone setup. Now, landing zone is a vast thing. Landing zone can have anything and everything. Scratch from policies to your IDs to everything, right? But essential things are these are the things. Without this, you cannot move the machines. So you should have region, you should have subscription, you should have resource group, you should have replication storage account, which nowadays is being created automatically. But earlier we used to create this. Then we should have a virtual network, a subnet, and availability option should be clear. Once we have all these things, then we can start with migration. But before we go for migration, uh, we go ahead and do the test migration. ये पूरा आपको अच्छे से explain करना है. Okay. In your first question as well here, if I go back to question bank, in your first question, tell me something about yourself. Don't just talk about your hobbies, etc. That should be very small chunk. Majorly, you will talk about, okay, example, my name is Ashfaq. I am working in XYZ company since last 8 years. Initially, I started my career as a system admin or service desk, and later on, fortunately, I got an opportunity to work on Azure. Currently, I am working on Azure with the same company. I'm working as a platform engineer. As a platform engineer, my roles and responsibilities are taking care of, or I take care of everything. It can be from subscription to Azure Active Directory, accesses, resource group, VNet, NSG, VPN, firewall policies, monitoring, and even load balancer. This is how you have to start your answer. And this is how you have to start. And migration का जब आता है तो specifically migration. Tell me about the migration you have performed. See, if these are two different questions, अगर आपने यहीं पे explain कर दिया question आएगा ही नहीं. But if you have simply said yes, sometimes you will have to gauge it in conversation as well, कि interviewer सिर्फ yes no वाला question पूछ रहा है या genuinely he wants detail, or ask him. If he says, have you worked on Azure migration? Yes, I have. He will simply ask the next question. If not, you ask, do you want me to explain or elaborate it? But don't just leave it. Okay. Look at this. This was the question asked in the interview, that what tool have you used in Azure Migrate? In सबका आंसर आपने यहीं पर दे दिया already if we elaborate the question. And these are the actual questions which we have faced in Accenture. Have you used any third party migration tool? Look at this. Migration में ही आपका आधा इंटरव्यू कवर हो रहा है guys. 19 questions उसमें से tell me something about yourself को छोड़ दो. 18 questions है. This is irrelevant. 17 questions. 17 में से यहाँ तक ये questions तो migration पे ही है. Then a scenario based question was asked. Let's say that I have an application which is used by users in multiple locations: US, Middle East, Europe. What are the options you can think of in order for users to connect to this application? What do you think is the best idea, guys? Someone wants to connect to this application. And obviously, guys, understand one thing. When they're asking this, this is implied in the question, and keep this in your mind. Do not say a public IP, right? They are not talking about the public IP. Public IP से तो obviously यहाँ पर हो सकता है. If it was a public application, publicly exposed application, do you think this question will arise? ऐसा नहीं है कि मार्केट में कोई पब्लिकली एक्सपोज एप्लीकेशन है ही नहीं. फेसबुक, यूट्यूब, दीज आर पब्लिकली एक्सपोज एप्लीकेशन. इवन योर कंपनीज विल हैव मेनी पब्लिकली एक्सपोज्ड एप्लीकेशन जहां से आप पे स्लिप वगैरह इंस्टॉल कर सकते हो. मेनी कंपनीज हैव दैट यू ओपन इट ऑन डायरेक्टली ऑन एनी ब्राउजर. इट्स ओके. But if I have an application like that, will I ask you this question? Okay, what method will you consider if I want to select it, if I want this to be accessed by US, Middle East and Europe? नहीं. क्यों? पब्लिकली तो वो हर जगह से वैसे ही हो रही है. So this is specifically for an application which is running on a private IP, right? तो private IP पे हो रहा है, then you will have to talk about VPN here. Okay, we can have
Site
VPN.
to
VPN
site.
में, yes, it could be site to site, it could be uh, point to site as well. How many users are there? You'll have to start probing. कि ठीक है, यूएस में कितने यूजर्स हैं आपके? एक दो यूजर्स है उसके लिए साइट टू साइट करोगे? नहीं. ओवरऑल 6 यूजर्स हैं, सिर्फ दो यूएस में है, दो मिडिल ईस्ट में, गो फॉर पॉइंट टू साइट, राइट? सो यू हैव टू आस्क, why can't you use front door? Someone has said here, load balancer. He asked why not front door. For this, you will have to read the differences between load balancer, front door, etc. Okay, maybe this went to some other direction. Now I don't remember the answer exactly, but we have the questions as it is. Okay? Scenario: I have three virtual networks. My jump server in a virtual network A. What configuration you will have to do that my client from virtual network C can connect to virtual network A? How will you configure the connectivity between them, and what will be the configuration you will have to do? Will you enable gateway transit or not? This is the question they have asked. What do you think you will do?
VPN peering.
VNet pairing is also fine. Why would you go for VPN?
VNet pairing.
VPN peering, yes. Yeah.
VNet pairing. Simply VNet pairing you'll have to do. Well, gateway transit on रखना है नहीं रखना है, it's a different question. It's completely, it's okay. Sometimes you may get it. You can read a little bit about gateway transit, but not necessary कि आपको gateway transit आएगा या नहीं. Right? I told you, if they're asking 20 questions, they're not expecting for you to know everything. Have you worked on Azure site recovery? Now, if you know the site recovery, which we have done in thoroughly, you will be able to take another 10 minutes on this answer. जिस तरह का migration, test migration explain किया था आपने, replication, in similar manner, you can explain site recovery. You have to start from scratch. कि इसके लिए एक रिकवरी सर्विस वॉल लगेगा. मेक श्योर इट इज इन डिफरेंट रीजन. मेक श्योर इट्स वी आर नॉट यूजिंग द सेम रिकवरी सर्विस वॉल विच वी आर यूजिंग इन बैकअप एटसेट्रा. वहां से शुरू होकर रेप्लिकेशन से लेकर टेस्ट फेल ओवर देन पोस्ट फेल ओवर, एवरीथिंग इफ यू कवर 7 to 8 minutes आप इस पे ले लोगे. एंड इफ यू स्टार्ट गिविंग दिस डिटेल आंसर, ट्रस्ट मी योर इंटरव्यूअर विल, वो माइंड वहीं पर बना लेगा कि ठीक है, हाँ हो जाएगा. So if you just say yes, the person said yes. The next question he asked, what was the project? Explain the project. Site recovery का क्या project था? Have you created site recovery for SAP? You can say no. But I understand the concept of site recovery. We can do it for anything. So once you understand the site recovery, SAP के लिए भी exactly same ही होता है. How will you create a DR solution for application running on web server in Oracle DB? See, Confusion के लिए they may put some words, heavy words यहाँ वहाँ. Just because here it is written Oracle DB and it is written here uh, for web server doesn't change anything. सर्वर सर्वर ही है, उसके अंदर आप वेब सर्वर चला रहे हो, कुछ भी कर रहे हो, डीआर एग्जैक्टली सेम ही होगा. डीबी सर्वर्स, ओरेकल डीबी किस पे होगा? ओरेकल डीबी किसी लिनक्स सर्वर पे होगा. सो यू टेल मी नाउ, डज दिस चेंज एनीथिंग व्हेन इट कम्स टू साइट रिकवरी? यहाँ पर हम सिर्फ इंटरव्यू ने जार्गन्स ऐड कर लिए है. एप्लीकेशन रनिंग ऑन वेब सर्वर. नाउ वेब सर्वर कुड बी अल्टीमेटली इट इज इधर लिनक्स सर्वर विद अपाचे और विंडोज सर्वर विद आईआईएस. हमने इनफैक्ट विद व्हाट वी डिड दैट वाज अ वेब सर्वर, राइट? इफ यू गाइस रिमेंबर, वेब सर्वर पे ही हमने किया था. And the another one is Oracle DB. So here he has specifically mentioned Oracle DB. So it's a Linux server. Mostly you will see Oracle DB on Linux server. तो इससे आपके इसमें कुछ भी चेंज नहीं हो गया. जो आप कर रहे थे एग्जैक्टली वही सेम यहाँ पर करना है. इज इट क्लियर गाइस?
Yes.
जो भी डिटेल हमने साइट रिकवरी में डिटेल में किए, सेम यू हैव टू एक्सप्लेन हियर. हैव यू वर्कड ऑन लोड बैलेंसर? सी वी हैव कवर्ड लोड बैलेंसर. What is internal standard? What is the internal standard load balancer? Will have interact connectivity. If not, where, how will you configure it? Internal load balancer, if you remember, I have explained internal and external load balancer. That we are not going through all of these questions, by the way. इस तरह से एक एक करेंगे तो a number of questions है हमारे पास. I'm just giving you the approach, and what I'm trying to tell you is all these questions थोड़ा बहुत यहाँ वहाँ हो सकता है, but everything will be covered what we have done. Again, tell me about your current profile. Monitoring is something which we have not covered. Let me see if we can cover. Otherwise, एक YouTube पे छोटा सा वीडियो देख लोगे ना. Monitoring बहुत ही छोटा सेक्शन है. Or you just go to portal and search for Azure monitoring. You will find it. And still, if we get many questions on monitoring, I'll conduct one session. Right? Action group ये monitoring का ही हिस्सा है, बहुत छोटा सा है. Hub and spoke we have done. This is very major question. Right? Hub and spoke you should understand and you should be able to explain it in detail. Why do we use it? What is the business significance of this? Technical steps कितने ये हो गए, कितने hub हो सकते हैं, कितने spoke हो सकते हैं, can spoke VNets talk to each other? If not, then how is it useful? Why should I have it? Everything you should be able to answer. Azure Bastion we have worked it. Right? Uh, Gold image we have not covered it, but that's completely fine. I mean, I think we have covered it, though I did not share the name. If you remember VMSS, Virtual Machine Scale Set, there I told you that we create an image. We create an image, and then based on that image, we create machines. That is what your gold image is. Will you need a downtime if you want to increase C drive and D drive or D drive? Who can answer this?
Or a C drive we required for D drive. It does not require downtime.
Yes. And you can be more specific here. Just don't be fooled by drives. Sometimes it's
Oh,
not
yes,
necessary that I will
yeah.
always have my system on C drive. I mean, you'll never see it. बस इंटरव्यू को थोड़ा सा ही करना हो तो they can do it. You can mention C drive here. I'm assuming it's a system drive, so I will require a downtime. D drive, I'm assuming it's a data drive. So the keywords are system drive and data drive. सिस्टम ड्राइव जिसमें ओएस होगा ना, वो फाइल के लिए आपको चाहे आप सी पे रख लो, डी पे रख लो, ई पे रख लो, दैट यू कैन नॉट एक्सटेंड increase without downtime. Got it? So system drive and data drive. RTO, RPO, we have covered. Key Vault, we have covered. Load balancer application gateway, we have covered. Application security group, we have covered. I hope you guys remember. Under network security group, NSG, I told you there's an application security group. Example दिया था मैंने. It's there in the session. If you can't recall it, please go ahead and watch the session. Right? Will two nets the connectivity by default? See, these are the questions, guys. Now you tell me if we have done anything else other than this. So if you are giving 100% on your course, you will be able to answer all of this. Have you worked on RBAC? Yes, we have. See, what are the questions they are asking? And this is HCL, not a small company. VNet, do they have connection by default? Yes, guys. Do they have
No.
connection? Subnets, do they have connection by default?
Yes.
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 What is the difference between tenant and subscription?
In one tenant, we can have different
Yeah,
subscriptions.
tenant is your
Subscription is
space.
part
Tenant
of
is your
tenant.
space on your cloud. We can have multiple subscription under one tenant. What is recovery service vault used for? It is for backup or replication. but you'll have to elaborate. Do not ever answer in one word like I'm doing it now. We have less time, hence I'm covering fast. Explain what is VM. How will you define tags? Tags we have already mm, covered. VM get exposed to public, prevent backup 10 data. I want to take backup of 10 TB data. It's okay. Uh, how to take backup of VM? What is migration? What is Azure migrate? How will you migrate? Please describe in detail. What is NSG? Right? What is dependency? Now look at this. Hexavar interview you will be able to clear thoroughly. सारे क्वेश्चन वो हमने कर रखे हैं. When you take the backup and create a new, it will be done manually or recovery vault will detect it. When we take a backup of new created VM, will it be done automatically? Not sure what the question is. We have, see how it works. Sometimes many of the students they came to my classes and they attended the interview, so they're asking the questions and I'm typing it here. तो थोड़ा बहुत grammar यहाँ वहाँ miss हो जाता, but we are not. And I hope you understand we are not getting the exact question, so we don't have to worry कि यहाँ पर यार ये क्या लिखा है समझ में नहीं आ रहा. This is to get an idea. At the end, this company is still hiring, but they have very complex interview. Hence, I've given some answers also here to their questions. I've given the answers as well. If you guys want, go through. I'm not covering this one. Then this company is still hiring. Anyone who is interested, feel free to apply or let me know. But this is a good company. I won't suggest that you go ahead and block this company in the first attempt itself. Okay, but their questions are here, and some complex questions they have, to which I have given the answers as well. Capita, Sybase. Look at this second round. Everywhere you see somewhere घुमा फिरा के वही questions आपको दिखने वाले. Tieto, some random questions, then SAS, Toll Group. There are n number of company, n number of questions. Place Clan is one of the best companies to start the career with in cloud. You get a good work over there. You get good learning. Now look at this. These many questions. I think this comprises of 2 interviews. No one will ask you 40 questions. But if you check, यहाँ पर सारे questions उसी तरह के हो गए. So go through the questions. Uh, this is fine. You don't have to worry about it. These are the questions. You will never get architecture questions. You are never going to get that. T-System, this is the company I was talking about. They have Azure and Linux opening. Datamatica, right? And I'll be adding one more where this guy got placed. I won't reveal the company name now, but maybe after a week or so I'll add that. And now whenever you guys start giving interviews, I'll start adding those questions here, and you guys can refer and you can start your preparation. So this is it, guys. Today we conclude our session. Right, next time we are not going to, from tomorrow we are not having any sessions like this. We'll be connecting on a one-on-one basis. I'll be discussing your resumes, etc. Let's see how it goes. Don't simply start applying from today itself. First, spend some time, maybe this week, go through uh, some portal again, practice some task again, go through these questions or questions which I have sent you when we were practicing those questions. Go through them. If you don't understand anything, let's say from next Monday, we'll start targeting. Meanwhile, create your resume. Don't just create your Naukri profile immediately. Create your resume, send it to me. Let me go through that once. I will check. Meanwhile, I'm checking. Don't just sit idle. You start preparing. Start your preparation, like reading these questions, answers, etc. Do some practical. There are many things which I have not covered, and I was very blunt and honest about it. Right? We cannot cover everything. So if you find anything here which is being repeated and which we have not covered, go through and watch a YouTube video. If you find something good, share it with others as well. Share it with me if you want. For example, Azure monitoring. Right, I see monitoring was asked twice and thrice, and we have not covered in this one, but it's very simple. It's not at all complicated. Even a video of 10 minutes. Now you, because we have created our base. Understand, we cannot learn anything in every scenario here. We have created the base. Now you guys, we should be able to watch some video, read some article, and you should be able to do it. Right? And coming back to this question that will we have KBs, etc. This is not because you are going to Azure, guys. This is because you are going to Azure showing yourself as an experienced person of 5 to 6 years, and that is the reason they are ready to pay you 15 LPA, 16 LPA, 12 LPA, right? If you show that, okay, I've worked for 8 years, but I've worked in service desk, this is first job for me in Azure, they will happily take you, right? They will give you KB, they will give you training as well, etc. But how much will they pay you then? They will pay you 6 LPA, they will pay you 7 LPA, right? So ऐसा नहीं है कि Azure में कोई training नहीं देता है, but there you are showing, you're revealing that you do not have any experience. In our case, what are we doing here? Sorry, what are we doing here, guys? We are showing that I have an experience of 5 years or 4 years. I've been doing migration, I have done this, I have done that. You show everything on your resume, you ask a package based on this, and then you ask for a training. That is not going to happen, right? So you have to make sure that you have to figure out it yourself. To start learning, this will help you in your job as well. This will help you in your clearing your interview as well, right? So I'll stop the session for today unless you guys have any question. And here we conclude our training. We'll just now meet for your resume, your questions, etc. And openings, if I get any, which is relevant for all of you, I'll be sharing here. Uh, I'll give you one email, yeah, one format of email which you can use, because most of the time maybe I'll be sharing email addresses with you and numbers with you. So you can call the recruiter and you can say, I'm looking for Azure administrator job. Here's my resume ready. Can I send it to you? WhatsApp, etc. And if I'm sharing email, so I'll give you a format. You can use that format, and using that format, send the emails to those recruiters. Make sure you mention your current package, make sure you mention your notice period. Again, don't make your recruiter's job hell. Don't make your recruiter's life difficult, because he or she is the first point of contact. Better information you give, or give it to him or her, they will select your profile. आपने बस एक प्रोफाइल अटैच कर दिया, प्लीज फाइंड माय प्रोफाइल. डू यू थिंक योर रिक्रूटर इज फ्री that he or she will go and open your resume and check, okay, where does it fit? Because that recruiter is hiring for GCP, that recruiter is hiring for AWS, same recruiter is hiring for Windows, Linux, developer, Azure admin, Azure data, Azure Entra, everything. Why do you think she or he will go and open your resume and see where do you fit? You have to do that for yourself. In your email, mention everything in detail. That, hi, my name is Sohail. This is regarding your opening, or this is regarding the job profile at your company for Azure administrator. If there is any job code profile, mention that in bracket. I have an experience of 5 years. My current package is XYZ. My expectation is XYZ. My notice period is 60 days. It is negotiable or not. Put that in your bracket. I'm available for interview from Monday to Friday, anytime in the afternoon, etc. एंड डोंट इवन राइट इट टू बिग. बहुत बड़ा ईमेल होगा, कोई नहीं पढ़ेगा. बुलेट पॉइंट्स में सब लिखकर किसी को दे दो, सो दे विल बी हैप्पी टू रीड योर ईमेल. आपकी ईमेल का नाम भी जो है, सॉरी, योर subject line should be clear, your resume's name should be clear. And these are small tricks, but these will help you to get the interview call. Trust me on this. We have been doing this from long time. I've done it for myself, I've done it for my previous batches, and it works for sure. Okay. If you don't find any email format, let me know. I will share it with you. But I have given you the hint what needs to be added. Do not try to be very fancy in your email with very uh, heavy English words, right? Don't do that. Simple English. It's okay. You don't want to impress him or her, right? But give the information which is useful for them, which makes their life easy. Your last working day, your current package, your expectation, your skill set, your availability for the interview. Right? So he or she won't have to call you and check. They won't have to call you to check के पैकेज कितना है यार, कितने पे मानोगे, कब इंटरव्यू, and then let me check with the interviewer. एक काम बढ़ा दिया. You give this information, that person will simply check with his interviewer. Okay, I have a resume, 5 years of experience. He has worked on Azure migration. He is available Tuesday 2 p.m. Can we settle the interview? He says yes. Interviewer will directly call you for the interview setup. दो चार कॉल्स नहीं होंगे, because more calls you include, दूसरे कैंडिडेट्स भी होते हैं, वो अपॉर्चुनिटी वहां तक चली जाती है. ठीक है. So that's all, guys, I had for you to share. Openings, etc., whatever I get, I'll be sharing with you in our close WhatsApp group, uh, or one-on-one as well. Mock calls, yes, that is important part. Good. Mock calls I'll be arranging with you once I have your resume. Then only I'll arrange the mock calls, right? This copy I have already shared with you. If you want, I'll share it again. Not necessary you go with this format. Not necessary you pick everything from this resume, right? Give your own touch. But these skills and these responsibilities should be there. Do not play with this one. Add this and add this. Apart from this, if you want to add, and I told you, do not go for 3 pages. Don't have that impression कि यार मेरा 10 पेज का resume होगा तो किसी पे बहुत positive impression होगा. No one is going to read that much. Okay? Keep it simple, crisp, clear, and precise. Again, aim here to make your recruiter's life easy, so you get the first preference over there. Then the technical thing will come. Recruiter को आपने ये नहीं किया वो technical round ही नहीं आएगा. No matter how ready you are, will keep complaining call ही नहीं आ रहा है. Okay, guys, we have 5 minutes left. If you guys have any questions, please do ask. Otherwise, we'll stop the session now.
When we have one-to-one.
You send your resumes to me first. I'll go through them. I'll suggest some changes, etc., and then we'll discuss.
Okay.
That doesn't have to be on weekends, etc. Whenever I am free, I'll ping you guys. Okay, I'm free tomorrow, 5 to 6. Are you available? If you say available, we'll meet. Simple. You say no, I'm 5 to 6. I have my office work. We'll see. Okay, day after tomorrow, 1 to 2. Wherever time slot fits for both of us, we'll meet. Yes, guys. Any other questions anyone has?
Yes,
Normally,
actually,
Sorry, Prabhat, go ahead.
normally we get questions when the recruiter asks that what is your notice period, and we say 90 days,
Hmm.
3 months. In that case, we don't get the call, or the interview does
Put
not
it
get
put it 60
scheduled.
days. Put it 60 days. Put it 60 days. Take one offer in your hand. Once you're already 1 month is gone, then we'll go for counter offer.
Okay.
So at least you can resign thinking कि hey current employer उनसे थोड़ा negotiate कर लो 1-2 हफ्ते के लिए with your manager. New employer से resume offer letter लेके रख लो 16 days का बोलकर 60 days बोलकर. लास्ट जब ज्वाइनिंग डेट आती है उससे 2 दिन पहले बोलो कि यार मुझको 15 डेज और एक्सटेंड करना पड़ रहा है. Now if you tell next 90 days you won't be hired. They won't entertain. But at the last moment joining से पहले then they will not go ahead and find for a replacement. Then they will say ठीक है 15 days बढ़ाकर दे दिया तुझको 15 days यहाँ से बढ़ा लो 15 वहां से कम कर लो.
Can we say 30 days?
I mean if you can hire can be leave for 30 days. If you can leave your job then only 60 30 और 90 में बहुत difference होता है. No one will extend this much for you. आपने 30 बोल दिया और 30 days के बाद बोल रहे हो कि नहीं मुझको और 60 days तो they will hire a new candidate. 60 days बोलकर आप 15 days मांग रहे हो और 15 वहां से कम कर रहे हो. दिस इज द प्लानिंग. इफ यू एक्चुअली हैव 90 days and if you say 30 days तो फिर आप 15 days भी बोल दो क्या ही फर्क पड़ता है. But your employer is not waiting for you then. See, there is a limit for everyone. You cannot extend someone to a stress that they give up, be it your employer or be as an employee, anyone. So it should be realistic. ये नहीं होगा कि 90 days है और मैं 5 days बोल रहा हूँ okay I can join you 5 days और 5 days बाद बोलता हूँ नहीं it is actually 9 days. Offer letter आ जाएगा but they will say okay keep it with you, we are replacing you. Offer letter is not a guarantee of job. It is guaranteed only if we can join you on that day. They will release the offer letter. Today you say 30 days. They will release your offer letter of 2nd December. And if 2nd December you say that I can join on 2nd March or 2nd February, then they will say, okay, we are finding new candidate. But you tell them 60 days, so they will give you the offer letter of what is it? 2nd November, 2nd December, 2nd January. And on 2nd January, you tell them, can you give me more 15 days, please, 15th of January? And you ask your current employer to leave 15 days. That is something doable.
We can buy out the notice period for 1 month, right? We discuss with HR.
If your manager leaves, that is not absolute power you have. If your manager says it's a business requirement, you'll have to spend 90 days, you'll have to spend 90 days. Completely depends with your relation with your manager. There is no labor law that you can buy out. If your manager is not leaving you, not leaving you, simple. Every company will have its own policy, internal policy. Your manager, how you are well connected with your manager, उस पे depend करता है सब. Yes, guys. Any other questions anyone has? Okay, if no questions, let me stop the session. I'll upload these videos, and we'll connect with you guys whenever your resumes are ready. I've already shared the copy of this resume. Prepare your resume, start sending it to me. We'll connect, we'll discuss how to go ahead with this, mock calls, etc. Right, and I'll start sharing the openings if I get any. First, I'll require your resume, guys. Understand one thing. Before that, I cannot do anything because once I see all of your resume, then I will realize I'll have a picture in my mind कि हाँ रजाक भाई ने 5 साल अजय और बताया है, अशफाक भाई ने 2 साल अजय और बताया है, प्रभात भाई ने 3 साल अजय और बताया. So I will know कि हाँ किस तरह की openings आपको भेजनी है. Right? So send your resumes first, and then I'll be able to share something. Then only I'll be able to arrange mock calls as well, because even I have to send it to panel that this is the person you will be interviewing, right? So next step is with you now. Once you share the resume, then we'll go ahead and start doing the next activities. Okay. See you guys. I'll stop the session now.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all. Bye.